your business, that's the one. Instead of Roland saying, please come buy some legal documents from me. If you're doing a shareholders agreement, if you're doing this, a testimonial takes you to that next level, and especially if you're working together to make it happen. So you need to create that joined up story. When Gary was putting together the British Jewelry Association, the National Association of Goldsmiths, you had to get everybody to tell the same story to go out to talk to the membership, you got to remember, these guys have been doing the same thing since Lewis Carroll was writing Alice in Wonderland. They've been doing the same thing forever. So Gary had to go out and say, we need a joined up story. How do we go out and then go out to the membership? So you have to have a joined up story. But you can't do it just from 4 people, but you don't have any time or a lot of time to go out to the next level. So you don't have a lot of time to go out and then spend time with 8 people. Because if Jude did that, he would have 8 coffees a week. He would have this. He would have lunches. He would have dinner with all those people. He'd have all this. So the rule is you can only have 3 best friends. You can have lots of other friends, but you can only have 3 best friends. And that's why I call them primary planets, because they're going to help you create that gravity, create that pull, put the message out there into the universe, and start pulling people in. The next one are your secondary planets. They're there. These are the people that you'll see at a quarterly function. You might see them at a monthly function that you get out to. If you go to a chamber function, these are the people that you're going to get out to. They're going to know your story because they're going to know that JR and Roland and my story is this, and they can go out and do this and tell everybody else. How can it work together? So if we're telling this story, how can that work for Richard Fallon doing marketing for accountancy and solicitors? How can that make it so that we're telling this story, but Richard can actually tell our story, and that'll help him get more business, because then Richard could do the things that he wants to do and help it get out and do his charity, hang out with his family, whatever else it is, because that's the story that needs to get distributed. So if we can give Richard our story, and Richard can tell it as a testimonial to Radu, then and he told him, and he told her, and she told her, and she told him, and it becomes a bigger pull, because with the efficacy, with the stuff that you've already know, and people know that you care about them, the biggest thing for them, biggest thing for Richard is WIIFM. What's in it for me? What's in it for Richard? Is if I can bring in Richard the right type of clients, because we've got the right story, and those accountancy firms that Adrian runs or that Darren runs are the right clients for Richard, then Richard has that story, and we've already said that, well, these guys are already using him, so you might want to talk to Richard about that. It creates a joined up story. It creates a good testimonial already, and you don't have to send him your flyer that says you should be doing this, you should be doing that, because it's already been broken down. We've already started to pull in that, and guess what? Typically, through that process, Richard's gotten some business, Roland's gotten some business, and I get business. But it's just because we worked at it a little bit. They're not slips of paper. It's just working at it, and you don't have to work at it doing everything. But the events and the marketing, like today, a lot of you guys are, and we'll get to the next stage, are in my asteroid belt. So you're on my LinkedIn. You're people that I see on a regular basis, but we might not have done a lot of business together, but you know what I do. So I've got to make the story stronger. I've got to make the story stronger for my primary planets, my secondary planets, and you have to know that if you have a problem with writing a book, that Bernie can help you. If you need public speaking help, that Bernie or Mike can help you, or JR can help you with sales. You have to work your way through the room. And if you need somebody to help you with your interiors, the Jin's there. So it's just, it goes through the whole thing is, if you know people and you become a trusted advisor, people will always come to you. So even if I'm the financial guy, the greatest question I ever got asked by my top client was, phone call, pick it up, and she says, hello, it's Gerda. I said, oh, Gerda, hi, how are you? And she goes, Maytag or Whirlpool? I said, Maytag or Whirlpool? Well, one of them's not a publicly traded company, and one of them's a crap stock. So why would you buy that? She goes, no. What type of dishwasher should I buy? Is a Maytag or a Whirlpool? And I said, but I'm your financial advisor. She goes, yeah, but you know everything. So would you help me with this? And I told her that I know everything. That's what. But as long as they're coming to you as a trusted advisor for everything, they will come to you for that, and you become the center of the universe. You become the person that can then get sales help, then also can go to the auto manufacturers to get to this, to get to that, to get to this, just by being good at what you do and caring about people. So I talk in the book in a couple ways about a couple people that you want to avoid. One of those people, and we've all been here, and I call them black holes. Black holes are the people that have an amazing black book. They come to every BNI meeting. They might be at the top of the chamber. They might, whatever they are. And you go and sit down with them and you think this is going to be the greatest coffee ever. And they start telling you all this stuff and you're just thinking, you're writing the checks in your head. You're thinking, this is great. They can introduce me to Walt Disney, even though he's dead. They still got a phone line to him and he's going to be able to plug me in. He's going to be able to get me to this guy. And you're just sitting there and you're calling your business partner saying, we're not going to go anywhere now. And you get black holes are sucking in the screen. But you get to that point where everything's going really, really well. And you start to put a lot of energy in these people. Start to put a lot of, you invite them to everything. You come out to my book launch, come out to this. And they show up and they start taking people's names. They start taking this and they say, Gary calls you up and goes, well, I met with James last week and he talked a lot about himself and he told me all the good things he could do, but never asked me about me. Never took, and you're sitting there thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to give it one more try. It's like that. It's like that last date. I'm not going to break it off because I think her mom's rich. So if I hang out for long enough, maybe she'll marry me and it'll be a short marriage, but I can get some money out of this. But you're sitting there in the relationship going, I can do this, and they're just draining you. They're draining you. They're draining you of your energy. They're draining you of your contacts. They're draining you of your time. So your energy, your focus, and your time are being placed in this person. They're stealing it. So in the book, I talk a lot about this because this is the one thing being a brash American is sometimes you just want to tell people, but sometimes you have to be very British and step away gently without avoiding. So you still go up and talk to them at a chamber function, but you don't, if they say, oh yeah, we should have a coffee, Roland, you go, that'd be great, call me. It's just, you move on. You're not mean, but just say, call me, because they never will. Because they just want to take what they can from you at that point in time. So black holes are one of the people that you should be aware of. You should go back through when you're looking at your 1,300 contacts and you've only had one referral. How many people did you have coffees with over the last month that didn't give you anything? And sometimes a black hole is not a black hole. You just haven't told them the story. You haven't told them your story that was compelling enough to make it so they wanted to go out and tell people about you. So when Bernie wants to get into financial advisory firms to talk to their brokers about better ways of selling, then that's what Bernie does. When you need to make sure that he's able to go out and tell that story. So when JR wants to go in and talk about non-exec directorships and things like that for automotive manufacturing companies, he has to go and tell that story. If you don't give me that to distribute, I don't know what you want. I'm just randomly saying, do you need more sales? Talk to JR. It's a very interesting thing. So if you're not delivering the right message, then it's not sometimes the black hole's fault. The relationship is two ways. So if you're not giving the right message, then that could be your fault. So you've got stuff in front of you. So what's next? The reason I made you write is because everything that you do should be in writing in some way, shape, or form. It should be in writing. If you have 1,300 client contacts, you should cull it to half of that by the end of the year. Or at least sequester it into groups or however you want to do it. You should segment those client contacts. I told you I had 1,200 clients, right? In the last 2 years, we now have 110 clients. It's not because I'm crap, it's because we've now segmented our clients because we were delivering a Mercedes level service and some people were paying fiat prices. And it's not fair for everybody, and this is why car dealerships have different dealerships for essentially the same mother company. JR put a good thing out today, and I'm sure Rachel saw it too, is the actual how everything is controlled by the 8 auto manufacturing companies, more or less, and all the brands that fall underneath that. So you need to do the same thing with your contacts. You need to get it in writing, promise yourself that you're going to do whatever you're going to do, and write it down. And so that's why you have the map in front of you, is you go through and start writing things on there. Start writing the people that are in your universe, somebody that could be your primary planet, somebody that could be your secondary planet. And then you ask me, what's the asteroid belt? The asteroid belt is everybody else that's in your LinkedIn. So you've got 3 people in your primary planets, you've got 5 people in your secondary planets, and this is all a guideline, and then you've got everybody else are a bunch of asteroids. I'm getting laughs from outside of the room. This is great. So you get everything in writing, goals and KPIs. This is personally, so key performance indicators. This is, okay, I took JR to coffee 4 times. I told him my story.